Welcome to Issues of the Day, where we discuss key issues in the news. I am Grace Ayoyenikom. Joining me today are Ademola Adeleke, our in-house news analyst. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And we also have Mr. Rashid Oniyonge, our in-house news editor. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And now our headlines. INEC declares Adeleke winner of Osun Governorship Election. And flood in Abuja, residents seek urgent government intervention. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the incumbent governor of Osun State and candidate of the Accord Party, Ademola Adeleke, winner of the 2026 governorship election. Adeleke pulled 511,067 votes to defeat his closest rival, the APC candidate, Bola Oyebamiji, who scored 444,815 votes. The INEC returning officer, Professor Joshua Olalekan Ogunwole, announced the results on Sunday morning after the collation of results from all 30 local government areas of the state. According to the official results, Adeleke won 19 local government areas, while Oyebamiji secured 11, declaring the result. Professor Ogunwole said Adeleke has satisfied the requirements of the law and was therefore declared winner and returned elected. Mr. Ademola, what do you think could be the factors that are responsible for his victory?
Thank you very much, Grace. I think Adeleke had the incumbency factor, being the sitting governor. That gave him the opportunity to prepare very well and then use whatever he has done over the last 4 years to campaign.
All right.
And the people see him and they tend to trust him more.
Okay.
The second factor is the factor of his family. It's
Okay.
a very, very strong political family in
Osun State.
Yes.
Okay.
They've been in existence, as far back as I can remember, 1993, the election that Abiola won. He was the governor for Osun State under the SDP.
All right. Okay.
He was a senator before he passed.
Okay.
And his passing opened doors for his younger brother, who is this current governor.
Okay, Ademola.
Yes, to access political power. The third factor as well is that he's much more affable than his opponents. He's much more sane. In a state like Osun, you go to that state as one of them. You don't go to that state speaking high-end grammar and trying to tell them you want to put structural systems in place. That may not appeal to the masses.
Okay.
So he had all that going for him, and that's one of the major reasons why.
All right, Mr. Oniyonge. He also claimed that when they asked him why he won, he said accessibility. I don't know what he meant by that. Yes. He said accessibility.
He said, Ademola said it, that
yes.
Being affable, being able to reach the people in their own language, in their own. There's nowhere where Governor Adeleke entered that doesn't enter in a grand style, and he's always dancing. He's the only governor that I've seen in Nigeria who is not self-possessed.
Okay.
He just lets it go like that. Okay. And people love that in people, that even if some people don't think he should be dancing all the time, but they see him as a very, very happy, easygoing person. And this has also reflected in most of his programs. Some of the things he did in Osun State also. Because if people are rating him on his performance, then they have already said that, yes, this guy performed well. Apart from that, I think it's, like he said, the incumbency factor. He has an incumbency advantage.
Exactly.
He's popular, he's friendly and all that. Being able to connect with the people is one of the most valuable assets that a politician can have. If you don't have it, people will just tune out of anything you are saying, even if what you are saying is actually quite germane.
All right. Okay. Mr. Ademola, I will say ask you, does it mean that because people are looking at it, this election was quite free and fair? Was it really free and fair? And secondly, if it was free and fair, does that give us any hope for what we are looking at in 2027?
The first question I'll ask is, what are we looking at in 2027?
Yes, of course, the presidential election.
Okay, so
we'll see it as a litmus test. Yes.
Well, I don't think this election in 2026 is any different from the election in Osun State in 2022, which promptly brought Adeleke into office for his first term.
Okay.
Because the trend was that the people of Osun State voted him as against the incumbent then, who is the current Minister of Blue Economy and Maritime.
Okay.
That's Gwega Oyetola.
Mm.
They voted him in over an APC candidate, and then when the presidential elections came, they voted
The president.
the current president. So I always look at Osun State as one of the most Republican states in Nigeria. By Republican, what do I mean? They are people who are very, very independent of what you're doing at the center. They vote according to their own mind and according to their own feeling. It's their vibes that push them to go and vote. You can't use that to judge Nigeria. Let me give you a good example.
Okay.
In 2011, Nigeria went to the polls. We had, presidential election. We had Goodluck Jonathan, who was the incumbent.
Yeah.
We had Muhammadu Buhari, and then we had Nuhu Ribadu.
Yeah.
The only state Nuhu Ribadu won under AC then was Osun State.
Why so?
Because Osun State was an AC state.
Okay.
Was an AC state. ACN then. Yes, ACN state.
Mm.
And they did not even follow what the Southwest did, which is that they voted Jonathan, who is the Southern president. They just voted Nuhu Ribadu. That, look, we are ACN. And Nuhu Ribadu is an ACN candidate. And that's it. So they have always been independent from the center.
With what
so
we are saying.
When they look at the vibes, if they feel you more at the center, they vote for you. If they don't feel your party in the local elections, they don't vote for your party.
Okay.
So they've always stand uniquely on that.
Yeah.
Then secondly, just to buttress what we said concerning Adeleke's victory, he has made a habit of winning. That's another advantage, which is that he was once elected as a senator.
Okay.
So within that, and then he won the first term. Now he has won the third term. So it's very, very electable within that Osun axis.
Okay.
And
Just
again-
another addition. I want to ask if his personality actually played anything over, because
Yes,
people are looking that they didn't vote for Accord, though it is him they voted for. Because Accord is not such a popular party.
I mean, it's hard to say when in the elections in Nigeria whether we are voting for the personality or for the party, though the law says we are voting for the party. But it is personality that drives the party, because somebody has to occupy the position.
Exactly.
But what it also tells us basically is that all politics are local. As he said, what happens in Osun State doesn't always apply everywhere. So you cannot use this as a yardstick for measuring what will happen in 2027, for example. But it does show us certain things, especially from a party perspective.
Okay.
APC won 444,000. Accord Party, meaning Adeleke won a lot, 500 and something. So that tells you that if this situation holds going into the election in 2027, it basically means that APC will sweep the state. And considering the fact that the governor-elect has already endorsed the president. So if we are using that to read the pulse or the direction, the trajectory of voting but we can't do that because this is only Osun State.
Okay.
But as he said, Osun State voters are very sophisticated. They know how to split their vote, because they know. Now, you see a governor winning under Accord Party and endorsing APC, which means, even on his own, APC has demonstrated that they are very strong in
Osun. Considering the contest was quite competitive.
The most important thing we have to look at going forward is that incumbency is a very, very great advantage in any election.
Exactly.
And when you look at the situation in which APC controls about 30-something states, you can do the maths from there.
Exactly.
So let me
Thank you. We don't have so much time, so that we can go to our second story.
The question you asked me quickly was that, so is that an indication?
Yes.
And I want you to understand too that we've had 3 runoff elections.
Yes.
Before the general elections next year.
Under the current president. Okay.
And then we've had APC winning Ekiti. We have ABGA winning
Anambra
State,
and then we have Accord now
winning
so it's not the way Nigerians paint it as if once you are in that center in Abuja, you have a stronghold on
all the states.
That has changed. It has changed from every election keeps getting better. Oppositions win election, in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's not.
All right, that's a good one. Away from politics now, we'll be talking about flood. Abuja residents complain about flood. Residents and motorists were stranded on Saturday after heavy rainfall triggered flash flooding in parts of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. The downpour left part of Wuse 2, including Ademola Crescent, as well as the area around the Light Event Center in Gudu and FRP Estate in Lokogoma, heavily flooded. The bridge linking Gaduwa and Durumi was also heavily flooded, leaving motorists stranded and disrupting movement. Some vehicles were submerged or damaged by the flood waters, while businesses in affected areas were forced to close down. Mr. Rashid, I was asking if this is the first of its kind for this kind of magnitude of flooding we've seen in Abuja, in recent time.
Well, we've seen flooding in Abuja, flash flooding, to be precise. And what I've always said, and I won't hold back in this situation, is that the drainage infrastructure in Abuja is extremely poor. You see this flood regularly during rainy season, flooding certain sections of the road. And that's because all the drainages were blocked. Don't forget that in the city center, Wuse, Gariki, Asokoro, and Maitama, the drainage system is underground. Yeah. And over the years, lack of maintenance have blocked all these drainages. Exactly. And the result is that water has nowhere to flow. And as they say, water will always find its level, and that is the dynamics of flooding anywhere in the world. Abuja is not a lowland area, though it has undulating hilly surroundings. So there is a clear possibility that you will have flash floods, landslides, even sometimes. We have not experienced that, and I pray that we won't. But it will happen if care is not taken, because we have so many hilly surroundings in which people have now settled without actually, I dare say, even illegally. And of course, space management in Abuja is also a problem. There have been allegations that certain areas in Abuja that are supposed to serve as flood plains where water could drain into Abuja has been converted into development land. It seems to me, without mincing words, that Abuja is trying to beat Lagos in all the negative metrics when it comes to environmental this thing. And everywhere else, we have issues of criminality, rising criminality in Abuja. We have issues of lawless drivers going around, and now we have flood. I hope the authorities
thank you so much.
Mr.
Ademola, do you think it's an oversight on the part of the Minister of the FCT not putting these drainages side by side with all the road constructions that he's doing? At least we expect that as you are constructing road, the drainages are supposed to be part of what the infrastructures that must go with those those road construction that he's doing. Well, otherwise, how do you explain the issue of this flooding?
You see, there's a popular saying that if man is to go one-on-one in a ring with nature, who is going to win?
Of course, nature will win.
So nature will always find it's always above man. The problem we have, back to your question, the problem we have with flooding in Nigeria is that we are culturally indisciplined when it comes to relating with the environment. We are, as a people, we are culturally indisciplined. You see, this thing they are not rocket sciences. It's not rocket science. If you look at naturally on Earth, water already has its way, whether you like it or not. Water has its course. When rain falls, it has its channel, it has the route, it has its path that is going. Over the years, I'm talking about dating into, epochs, not even era, epochs. Since man started dwelling on Earth, rainwater already knows where it goes to. River courses, is there. And then when we now encroach on that, what do we expect? There are some green areas designed in Abuja. It is not by this thing. When you go to central area, you see some area that looks, as if you are in a forest. In a forest. It is not by for any for a simple purpose other than for a simple purpose other than for drainage purpose, relief purpose. That's what we call it in geography. That whenever rain falls, you have plants and soil to draw this thing. Some of them are even valley-like, giving you a natural drainage.
Yes, exactly. I've been seeing some of them.
Yes, all over. Yes, it is planned. Those who planned Abuja, they didn't do anything wrong. It is the management, like you said, over the years that is causing this problem. Like he mentioned, what is the reason for us to go and build houses on floodplains? So we've taken land to a point where water is supposed to pass ordinarily. We are now building houses there. So whenever the rain falls, water, like I said, will always find its level. And then we start shouting that the gates are collapsing and all that. So that's on the side of the masses. The side of the government is that, let me use one example. A former landlady of mine told me that, had it been that the weather in Nigeria is as harsh as those of the temperate regions, where you have 4 weathers, you have snow, you have all that, we all have been wiped out. Every year we keep having rains, and we know the rain. We're not doing anything. We're not providing any solution to it. The rainy season starts sometime in April and ends in October. You know the rains are coming. You even have NIMET. You have all those things. You will not send workers to go and clear the drainages
and prepare for the
next season. There are tons of sands on most of the roads being built. Every day we see people sweep it, but who are the people clearing these sands? Because this sand ends up in these drainages that gets blocked.
Back in the drainage.
That gets blocked. So when now rain falls and then we start having this problem, some people will say it's climate change. Or people say Abuja should not be having this problem. Abuja can have this problem, and I'll tell you why. When you say cities or towns are above sea level, it is for the sea not to encroach on that city. Lagos has low sea level. That's the reason why they keep having flooding every now and then.
So when you now have a situation where the city has a high,
yes, the sea cannot get to Abuja, but rain can get to Abuja. And river can overflow its banks
because of rain.
Yes, and dams can break because of heavy flooding. So those are the key things that are there. We should be much more environmentally aware as a people and as a government. The government should be much more environmentally aware. You just don't build roads and leave it. You maintain the roads, you maintain the drainages, and the citizens too have a fault in installing manholes. Those covers, they have a purpose. It's a portfolio of problem that is interwoven.
That's a discussion for another day. Thank you so much for being with us on the program today. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. We appreciate your coming. For more details, subscribe to Citizen TV on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Twitter, formerly also, and TikTok. This is Citizen TV. I am Grace Ayeneko. Do have a wonderful day. Thank you.
I mentioned one.